Welcome back to Clark's Ring Rants. Let's get straight into today's video. So, aside from the two major fights that I've already covered this weekend was a really busy week for boxing. So, I'm just going to cover some of the other fights that you might have missed over the weekend. Up first, we've got Josh Padley, who scored a second round TKO victory over Jawad Belmedi in the Newcastle Arena on the Josh Kelly undercard to secure himself the European Super Featherweight World title. Really good performance from Josh Padley here. He had his man down. He looked out of it, to be fair. The referee probably should have stopped it. He let the fight carry on. Padley set about him straight away, flew across the ring, hit him with a few more punches, and he was in no fit state to continue. So Josh Padley elevates himself to European Super Featherweight World Champion. And I'm really happy for Josh Padley. I mean, he beat Mark Chamberlain in that upset, and then he took Shakur Stevenson on at short notice. He put himself in the shop window. He impressed Turkey. He got a contract with Matchroom, and his career's gone from strength to strength. That European belt means he's going to be ranked very highly by a lot of the organisations. And he's put himself in the shop window for a world title shot. Again, he took the risk. He took on Shakur Stevenson. He more than held his own. He did pretty well, all things considered. And now he's on the cusp of a world title again. So big shout out to Josh Padley. Well done on the victory. On the same card, we had the exciting heavyweight prospect, Leo Atang. He improves his record to 4-0. All four coming inside the distance. He beat Amin Bouchetta, stopped him in the third round. It was looking as though Bouchetta might go the distance, but Atang, he got to him eventually in that third round. Hit him with some mean shots. Bouchetta took a knee, and he didn't fancy that. He'd had enough. He sat out the count, and Leo Atang moves to 4-0. He's got another fight scheduled in a couple of weeks. He's going to be on the Lee Wood, Josh Warrington undercard. That one is still TBA. Be interesting to see who they get as an opponent, but there's absolutely no rush with Leo Atang. He's only 19. They're already talking about an Italma fight down the line. Let's not worry about that yet. Just let's get the fights in, keep learning, keep getting him some good exposure on these undercards. And yeah, maybe we can build that fight, but not right now. It's going to be interesting to see what they do with Atang, because there's going to be a big void left behind when AJ does decide to retire. And Eddie Hearn is going to need a heavyweight to step into those shoes. Maybe it's going to be Leo Atang. I guess we'll see. Next, we had Bruce Carrington, who flattened Carlos Castro in the 9th round to capture the vacant WBC World Featherweight title. He was ahead on all three scorecards at the time of the stoppage. He boxed really well, and then the knockout eventually came. He slipped one of Castro's punches. I believe it was a jab. Come back with a right hand, wobbled his opponent. The writing was on the wall from then. And then he followed up with a lovely three-piece combination, and down went Castro. He wouldn't have got up if they counted to 50. Really impressive performance from Carrington. It'll be interesting to see what they do with him next. Up next, we've got Keyshawn Davis. Might have to start calling him the body snatcher. He stops Jermaine Ortiz in the 12th and final round. He was ahead again on all of the judges' scorecards, but this was a really impressive performance from Keyshawn Davis. This was a potential banana skin fight for him. We know Jermaine Ortiz, he pushed Teofimo Lopez really close in that fight they had a couple of years back, with many people actually believing he deserved to get the nod that night. So this was a tricky fight on paper for Keyshawn. It was a test, and it could have gone wrong, but he came through it, he boxed well, and he even got the stoppage in the last round. It'll be interesting to see what they do with him next. He's going to be looking at world titles at 140. We know he isn't going to fight Shakur. And then we've got Dalton Smith, we've got Richardson Hitchens, who fights in a couple of weeks. We've got Gary Antoine Russell as well. And we know he's got that long-running feud with Andy Cruz. Obviously, he was celebrating last week when he won, even though Andy Cruz has beaten him 4 times, I think it is, in the amateurs. Maybe he could tempt him into having a fight, but who knows? We'll see what Keyshawn Davis does in 2026. It'll be interesting to see. And the final fight I wanted to talk about, and quite a big upset really, we had Alexander Gvozdyk getting flattened by Radvo Kaladzic in the 7th round. Kaladzic was down twice earlier on in the fight, but he then rallied back to finish off and flatten Gvozdyk, and probably send him into retirement, to be honest with you. Gvozdyk, at this stage of his career, he's 38 years old. He was retired, he was inactive for a few years, and a fighter of his calibre, in his prime, he'd have never lost to Kaladzic, and maybe it's time for him to call it a day. He's had a good career. I remember when he beat Stevenson for the world title. He came up short against Beterbiev. He didn't fight for nearly 4 years. He had the loss to Benavidez, but now 38 years of age, getting ironed out like that, it's probably going to be downhill from here. So yeah, I'd probably call it a day if I were Gvozdyk. But yeah, that was a big upset in the light heavyweight division. So there we have it, a little roundup of all the other good fights we had over the course of this weekend. But let me know your thoughts on these fights in the comments below. Did any surprise you, or did they sort of go the way you expected them all to go? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, share, subscribe if you're not already subscribed, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.